My name is Alicia, and together with my team partner Leon, I'm developing the gardening game Golembert, in which you're living on a seemingly abandoned Mediterranean island with perfect gardening conditions. I'm the visual artist of the team, and we have already designed most of the UI, assets, environments, and everything that will be seen in Golembert. My task at the moment is to finish and render everything we have planned, one thing at a time, of course. In previous videos, I've already gone through all previous island iterations and the full design process for an area in the game named the Tower Top. But a part of the island we have rarely shown in any videos is the beach. The beach area, contrary to the garden, house, harbor and tower, wasn't something we wanted to have on Golembert's island from the beginning. The first time we designed it, it was actually just a connecting piece between the garden and the sea. Once we've decided to make Golembert's island an actual island, as in surrounded by water, and not a flying one. The beach had an entrance planned for a stone cave, where you could have met something or someone inside in the later game. This part of the island design was scrapped for multiple reasons. For one, we reworked the story so it made more sense with fewer characters. The other reason was the scope. I planned an extra environment for every character the player was going to meet, and it became a bigger and bigger project every time we added something new. The cave didn't turn out like something we liked visually anyway, and it was really hard to make it work to begin with, so we just scrapped it. After multiple iterations, some being fishing some waste out of the water and an area where some NPCs live, we decided to use the beach area for receiving messages in bottles. And my later idea was also to move some static extra storage, such as chests, etc., to the beach as well. A late game character-driven purpose for the beach is also planned, but I won't reveal it here yet. Design-wise, it's also nice to have a beach to break away from the green areas like the gardening terraces and even the blues of the tower, harbor and the house. The yellowish sand is something very new to Golembert's island and a much needed variation to all the other spaces we already have. I also planned to have quite a few environment animations in this part of the map. There will be grass animations like in other parts of the island, but also some wave animations and some idols for a pair of beach creatures. The whole island is on one single drawing, so every time I'm rendering an area, I can update the whole island together. I needed to clean up the sketchy beach area, starting with the sand floor and the stones at the back. Here I've decided to develop a clear style for the look of the stones that allows enough color variations while being easy for me to replicate many times. Often as artists we draw in or use a style that comes natural to us. The way I draw characters and props isn't something I think about a lot, but especially when it comes to things we don't gravitate towards, we need somewhat of a style guide. This is really important for me when it comes to environments. They aren't my strong suit, but it's what takes up most of the space in our game. The way the grass is drawn, or in this case of the beach, how the stones and sand is painted, needs all to be coherent. When it came to fitting environments, vehicles, props and characters together, it wasn't always easy, and once I have figured out all the things for one area of the island, I totally forgot how to do it in a different area. Now I'm more confident with painting in this Golembert style, which is an amazing lesson or skill I've already learned from this project even before we have finished this game. I really want to have more colors in the environment. The water by the beach already had this sketchy color variation to make it look like there's shells or corals under the water surface. This is extremely important to make the world feel more alive. My professor once gave me the tip to add more green tones, as in cold and warm green variations, into the grass areas. My color variations were too limited and looked therefore quite uniform instead of wild and lively. Adding more value and color variations is therefore an easy way to bring more detail and interest into a space. The stones, as I described before, are also drawn in a way that allows more color variations on each side. It all looks like grey, but with a closer look you will see that there are different shades of green, blue and even a soft orange or coral hidden in the stones. Adding simple plants in between the stones is also extremely necessary due to the stone wall already being visually way more repetitive than other parts of the island. Having some plants in between that maybe also allow to have smaller environment animations there breaks up the stone pattern. There are also different green tones again, so it's also a plus. The last important color source that is more like sprinkles on top of the sand, grass and stone frosting are little shells around the beach. Maybe I should add more shells than there are already, but they already give a new interesting pop of color into the whole scene. One of the interactable objects down at the beach are the storage sheds. Over the development journey we already had all different kinds of chests for extra storage that the player can use to save seeds, harvest and items. I needed to find a good spot on the island for some chest-like things that would stay static for the player to use, and I had the idea that the beach would be a nice place for it. There isn't any gardening space, so the storage would not take up valuable space for the gameplay, and maybe I would come up with an interesting visual idea for them. My first few ideas and designs were some chest designs, barrels, and even an underground silo kind of thing. Leon also had the idea to have some storage in the ground and only have the doors visible to the player, but I really wanted to have something that takes up some visual space and brings some interest. My favorite take was something similar to garden sheds. I haven't seen it used in games too often, and it would fit the beach aesthetic. There are those colorful storage containers in Brighton that were one of the inspirations. I also found this shed in Animal Crossing that is quite similar to what we were going for too. Leon said that they look a little bit like changing rooms on beaches, and I don't see it as a negative. It's something that can store things and it fits the beach environment to a T, so why fix something that ain't broken? Now I wanted to add some beach-specific decorations. My last video was about isometric game art, and I talked a lot about the creation process of props there. But in short, I doodled all my decoration ideas on paper and decided on which props would fit our vision and which don't. Then I scan the drawings or take a photo on my iPad and import them into Procreate. You then have two ways to fix the props to fit the game's perspective. You either use the isometric grid as a guide to adjust the props, or you use already finished props and environments as a guide. I use both interchangeably, it depends on the props. Some of the props we decided on for now are a few bottles, a vase and a beach ball. I also like the sketches for some barrels and pots that are half buried in sand, and I will add these to the game as well. The next step was to bring the environment to life. The easiest task was to place some grass animations on the stones and floor. I already made all the animations for the main gardening area, and now I can scatter it around the whole island. A harder task was to animate the seashore. It's no secret that I'm new to animating and not the best at it, but I'm trying my best with the limited time I have to work on those things, and it's a little bit choppy, but so are all other animations, so it's an art style now. It's still extremely nice to have everything moving on screen. It's much more alive. The last little thing was to add two friends to the beach. I drew these two crabs that were supposed to live here and only move a little bit. My process to make them was straightforward. I just rendered them like any other NPC and added little 3-frame animations for them. They are the beach equivalent to the seagull on the tower top. Leon then added a little bit of dialogue to the crabs and seagull when the player clicks on them, and yeah, a few more interactable things make everything way cuter. That's basically the whole process of how the beach looked a few weeks ago to now. I'm finishing all the areas on the island one by one at the moment, and the next one will probably be the upper terrace. The game is coming together and we may be slow, but we're sturdy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know if you have any other video topics that would interest you. Until next time, Have a lovely day. Bye!